Hello there, welcome back to yet another Endless Dream Realm Boss Guide. So for today's Endless Dream Realm Boss Guide, we are back again on Necrodrakon. And before I begin, just a few disclaimers. So number one, I actually injured my right foot during my holidays. So right now, the swell is back and it hurts like shit. So I'm trying to elevate it off stream so that the blood will actually flow away from the injured area, so it's less painful, and that's why I'm sitting in a very awkward position. Okay, at the same time, if the pain suddenly just comes up and hit me like a truck, I might just stop talking, or there might be an awkward pause in the middle, so pardon me on that. Okay, so for this boss, for Necrodrakon, I think there is not a lot of variation. So in terms of the final meta team or the positioning, this is the one that gave me the most damage. So this is basically the 3 mobility units, Tamasia, Merrily, as well as Corinne, and then we have Torrent to soak up some damage for Merrily while using the ultimate to hit back the boss. And then we have Reina, so that is variance number 1. There's another variance which you can run for Esto for the damage reduction as well as the energy regen. So I'll showcase the damage variation for both teams, and I'll start with this one first. So specifically for this boss, the usual good units like Smokey, Coco, and Odie, they are not very good because they get debuffed by the boss and they do less damage and they take more damage, so they die more easily. So I don't recommend those units. So in their place, units with mobility like Vala, Reese, they are decently good. I think specifically for this boss, Galita is also okay because she moves around, deals true damage, and buffs up the team with the seasonal skill. So other than all these units that you guys see on screen, other than Freesto, those are the other units which I think they are decently viable. Any other units, I think they are just not very good. But Seth might work for this boss, but honestly speaking, I don't think Seth is a good Dream Realm character. So you can give him a try, but I don't think the results will be the best like in terms of damage output, in terms of getting you better scores. So right here, as you guys can see, we managed to do 36.8 build damage. So this is, I'll say, like the usual damage range for this boss. This is the damage distribution. So Merrily as well as Corinne being the main carry, with our dear tanks like Torrent and Tamasia with decent damage. Okay, so this is the damage distribution for team 1. The other team that you guys can use is obviously Freesto. So Freesto's job is to just bump up the damage for the team by giving you more stats as well as energy regen for the carry. So this is the team. Let's start the run. Okay, so I'm giving the damage reduction for Tamasia because Tamasia is the tankier character. So based on my past few experimentation, I think giving merely the damage reduction is just not sufficient, because if you guys are in the state that where we are now for the end game, right, the final burst of the boss at 15 seconds is what wipes your whole team. So that means that you kind of want to make sure at least 1 or 2 units survive them, and then from there jam a little bit more damage for you to achieve better final damage. So the final burst around 15 seconds, I don't think can be avoided, because the boss's damage is skewed to their attacks. So we will see, right, whether or not we can survive that final burst on Tamasia. So Tamasia is really tanky with damage reduction. Okay, so Tamasia managed to survive. So she managed to stampede around the boss a little bit more, but we dealt way less damage compared to the previous run. So I attribute this to because Freesto dealing lesser damage compared to Torrent. So yeah, because this boss specifically for units like Freesto and Torrent, they'll get debuffed. But for Torrent's case, right, he can still do damage from the return damage from the ultimate. So he'll hit a little bit harder compared to Freesto. Although Freesto offers you additional HP and attack, which if you're lucky or if you're high stat enough, you might survive that final AoE burst and then you'll be able to jam in more damage. But in general, I think the Torrent team is more consistent and will deliver better damage in most cases. But you can try this Freesto team out if you have Freesto and you kind of think that, you know, the additional percentage stats might actually give you more damage if you get better RNG. So that's the second variation. So in terms of the substitutes for this boss, I think you don't have a lot of choice, right? Because your units, number 1, needs to be mobile. Number 2, needs to be decent for Dream Realm bosses to be used. So the only few units, like I mentioned, is obviously Vala, right? Vala is a mobile carry. You can obviously use Reese if you have this unit invested, very mobile physical carry. And if you're using Reese, you can obviously consider using Kruger for the physical defense debuff, although Kruger also sort of get debuffed by the boss, so not an optimal unit. And then in terms of every other unit, I think you don't have a much better choice. Another unit which I think you guys can consider is Rowan. So Rowan is one of those support that functions decently well against this boss because he will move around to cast the ultimate, so he don't get debuffed and he might survive better. However, his potion can only benefit other allies, so there's a chance this unit might die earlier and then don't do as much damage. So I think with the spirit of experimenting, I'm gonna run Rowan in the team and then see the results from there. So this is with the Rowan setup. So this will give you I think additional sustain and buffs, because I think the potion also grants defensive boost for Rowan if you have him at the Supreme Plus tier. So this is the Light Bearer with Rowan support. Hopefully we can survive a little bit better, okay, and then hopefully jam in more damage from there. So that's what I hope to achieve with this setup. In terms of the Mauler side of things, if you plan to play around Reese, I do think that you will still need Reina for that debuff as well as that damage reduction to keep your carry alive. And you can obviously throw in Torrent, right, for that link to protect your carry. But for the Mauler side of things, I think you have lesser unit combinations you can try. So you still might have to draw inspiration from the Light Bearer side. So we are currently at 32 billion. Okay, we have a lot of buffs on Merrily right now. Okay, we are at the final burst, see whether or not we can survive. So we didn't, unfortunately, but we managed to hit the 35 bill mark. So yeah, this is definitely one other viable team options for you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this Necrodrakon Endless Guide. In terms of flexibility wise, you don't have a lot of choice, so these are usually the best choice for this boss, at least with the game right now, at least with the meta right now. So that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe as usual. Pardon me for the random weakness in my voice, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.